the UFC is finally cooking again because I feel like there was a little bit of a slow. After UFC 299, it was kind of slow. We got, some shitty, boring fight nights. But they're finally cooking again. And they just announced the full card for the UFC Saudi Arabia event. And my boy, Robert Whittaker is back. The Reaper's back. You love to see it. He just fought Paulo Costa, forgot how recently, like a month or so ago. But yeah, went to war with Paulo Costa, coming back to fight Khamzat Chimaev. And everyone who watches this channel knows how I feel about Khamzat Chimaev. I kind of have beef, but after this fight, he'll have my respect, win or lose. Cause you know how I feel about Khamzat Chimaev. He kind of pissing me off a little bit, but more on that later. They also announced Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. This fight makes no sense to me because I swear to God that Volkov was announced to fight, what's his name, Jailton Almeida. I don't know what happened with that, but he's fighting Sergey Pavlovich instead. I don't know what happened. The comments haven't been very helpful. So I guess they just decided not to go with that fight, which is a good fight. Well, it's a good decision they didn't go with that fight because, no offense, Jailton Almeida, I don't know what the hell happened. He used to finish people, he used to be exciting, but now he's just laying pray to God that he gets a win. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad we're going to get a banger fight with Sergey Pavlovich and Alexander Volkov. I'm pretty sure they announced the full main card, but for some reason when I go on the UFC website, it doesn't show up. So I'm using, what is this, MMAmania.com. I'm using this instead. But they announced Shara Bullet is fighting. Johnny Walker is fighting again. Johnny Walker's my boy, Gotta rep the homie. And then Kelvin Gastelum and Daniel Rodriguez. I thought Daniel Rodriguez got let go, but I guess not. I don't really care for that fight. It's like the non-contender fight. I don't know if Kelvin Gastelum is ever going to be a serious contender again. But, respect to him. He's an OG in this game, so, respect to him. But I'm really excited for this Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat fight. As I said multiple times, not Khamzat. Robert Whittaker's my boy, and I want to see him fight for the title again. Because, you like to see your homies win. And then Hamza, this is finally an actual test for Hamza. Instead of fighting a short notice, bloated welterweight Kamaru Usman, who isn't even a true middleweight. He's finally fighting a true middleweight. It would have been cool if they rebooked the fight with Paulo Costa, but this is a good fight. Robert Whittaker is he shows that he is easily the best contender in the middleweight division at the moment, because you never know. Izzy might come back, and he arguably is better than Robert Whittaker because he beat him twice. But enough of Izzy, We're talking about Robert Whittaker right now. But I think this fight's going to be awesome. I definitely am picking Robert Whittaker, not just because he's one of my favorite fighters, but because it's a main event, so it's going to be 5 rounds, and we all saw how Hamza was against Kamaru Usman in a 3-round fight. You could say injury to the hand all you want, but hurting your hand does not affect your lungs. I don't want to hear any of these Hamza dick riders pulling shit out of their ass to defend him. Hamza's cool, okay? I'm not saying he's a shitty fighter. I'm just saying he's not as good as we all thought he was going to be. 4 years ago, when Hamza popped on the scene and was fighting people 3 people, 4 people in a year, and just completely dismantling them in the first round. And then when he beat Liane in the first round, easy peasy. I would have been confident. I would have been scared for Robert Whittaker. I would have been like, oh my God, I don't know if Robert Whittaker can beat Hamza. But now that we've seen him fight top contenders like Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, now we kind of know where Hamzat's at, so he's not as impressive or scary as he was before. So, and that's okay. You can still be a good fighter and just not have that aura of invincibility. Not everyone can be Islam Makhachev, but it is what it is. And yeah, Robert Whittaker definitely has the gas tank for 5 rounds. I don't think Hamza does. Hamza's probably going to take the first round. Maybe. He might not. Because Robert Whittaker has some crazy takedown defense. And he's overall well-rounded fighter. And Khamzat is kind of one-dimensional, I feel like. His striking wasn't impressive. But once again, You could say, oh, his injury to his right hand, or whichever hand it was. Oh, he didn't throw punches because his hand was broken. Okay, his legs still work. But I'm trying to say nice things about Khamzat now. But his wrestling and submission game is obviously his bread and butter. That's his strong suit. He's probably going to come straight out the gate, try to take down Robert Whitaker, try to finish him in the first round, and then he's going to blow his gas tank, and then Robert Whitaker is just going to light him up on the feet. I don't think Robert Whitaker is going to finish him. He might if, like, Khamzat's, like, super, super exhausted from, like, blowing his load in the first round. That's the only way I can see Robert Whitaker finishing Khamzat. And actually, we don't know how good Khamzat's chin is. Because, I mean, he did get dropped by Gilbert Burns there, but that's Gilbert Burns. And he never fought a true middleweight. He only fought Kamaru Usman, who was short notice of 11 days short notice, had to blow up to 185. So, yeah, we actually don't know how well. I mean, Robert Whitaker is a big boy. I don't know if he hits hard. He probably does. I mean, if you're naturally walking around at like 220, you probably hit hard. So we don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how Hamza does against a proper middleweight. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Shout out Robert Whitaker. My boy takes the... No easy fights for Robert Whitaker. You got Paulo Costa. And before that, you got Dricus du Plessis. And then before that, I think it was the Izzy rematch. And he doesn't... And now we got Hamza. He doesn't take the easy fights. He ain't a Twitter warrior like Hamza, calling everyone out, but not fighting. Now he's fighting. Thank God. Thank God the UFC somehow got Hamza in the fucking ring. Not the ring, the octagon. But anyway, on to the next fight. Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. I'm taking Sergey Pavlovich. But I feel like this is going to be closer than people think. Alexander Volkov is... No, I don't know. No, yeah, I think it might be closer than people think. I don't think Sergey Pavlovich is just going to go in there and steamroll Alexander Volkov. Alexander Volkov is pretty good on the feet, and he has pretty good ground game. I have not seen any of Sergey Pavlovich's ground game. I mean, the only time I saw him get taken down, it was against Alistair Overeem, and he got finished. So, maybe that's something that Volkov can exploit. We thought Tom Aspinall was going to do that, but then Tom Aspinall just finished Tommy on the feet and knocked him out. Something that we weren't expecting. And we don't know how good Sergey Pavlovich's chin is now. Like, because, it was a pretty rough knockout. Homeboy was dead. He was just on the ground dead. So we don't know how that's going to be. And, heavyweight division, everyone in the heavyweight division hits hard. And Volkov is a pretty slick striker. He's not, like, on the same level as, like, a Cyril Gane or Tom Aspinall, but he's pretty good. But Sergey Pavlovich is also he's a pretty good technical boxer. He's not really this big, meaty hooks dude. Excuse me. He likes to pick his shots. He's smart. I mean, yeah, so this might be good. Honestly, I was going to choose Sergey Pavlovich, but I'm kind of leaning towards Alexander Volkov. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled it off. His ground game is pretty good. And I was going to use his Tai Tuivasa fight to show that he could fight these heavy hitters, but no offense, Tai Tuivasa is like the most one-dimensional fighter ever. I might make a video on that, honestly, the unfortunate downfall of Tai Tuivasa. But yeah, so I think Volkov is going to take this one. I love heavyweight fights. I love it when the top of the heavyweight division fights each other. I wish Cyril Gane would have fought maybe Sergey Pavlovich or something. He already beat Volkov. But what the heck, dude? Is he ducking? Well, it's been like a year since he fought. He's not going to... Is he even going to fight this year? Well, whatever. Being a Cyril Gane fan sucks. Anyway, the other fight I want to talk about is Johnny Walker. I don't really care about Char Bullet too much. He's still... I know people like to overrate him. I feel like we haven't seen much of him in the UFC. He did get taken down a lot in his last fight. I'm pretty sure it was him. But Johnny Walker versus Volkan Oezdemir. I'm choosing Johnny Walker, obviously, because that's my boy. But also, Volkan Oezdemir is, like, not really that dangerous of a contender. I feel like this is a good bounce-back fight for Johnny Walker because he got obliterated by Magomed Ankalaev. So this is a good, refresher fight for Johnny Walker. I feel like he'll be able to take him. I mean, obviously, it's MMA. Anything can happen. But I feel like this is a pretty good bounce-back fight for Johnny Walker. Do I think the Johnny Walker Resurgence is still alive? I don't know. Because Magomed Ankalaev is at the top. and he obliterated Johnny Walker. I mean, who else? And then I feel like if you get obliterated by Magomed Ankalaev, he's on the same level as like an Alex Pereira, Yuri Prohaska, and a Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill already finished Johnny Walker, so unfortunately, I'm going to say I don't think the Johnny Walker resurgence is alive anymore. But like I said, it's MMA. Anything can happen. I would love for Johnny Walker to be in the title scene again. That's my boy. And I've been very proud of him recently. He was on that win streak before he lost to Magomed Ankalaev. And we all know Magomed Ankalaev is, he's scary. He's with the shits. So that's not like a huge setback for Johnny Walker. If he loses to Volkan Oezdemir, then the fucking resurgence is dead in the water. No offense. Not shitting on Volkan Oezdemir. I'm just saying, I feel like this is like a lower in the rankings warm-up fight to get the Walker resurgence started again. But if he loses 2 in a row, he's just going to fight lower in the rankings, lower in the rankings, lower in the rankings. And then eventually the Walker resurgence is just going to be dead. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. The UFC is finally cooking. I feel like I said earlier in the video, it's been like a weird... It hasn't been dry. There's been MMA content. UFC 299 was fire. I made a video on that. And then we've been getting these fight nights that haven't been really like craziest. I mean, someone bit Igor, whatever his name is, bit some dude on the arm, and that's pretty much it. We have one today. Again, well, what is it? Blanchfield and Furio. That's not an exciting, main event. This is an exciting main event. Robert Whitaker versus Hamza. That's exciting. So, yeah, and then UFC 300 is coming around. Going to make videos on those. Hopefully, it delivers. The card doesn't look terrible. Actually, the card isn't even really terrible at all. The only problem I have is Bo Nickal's on the main card. Why the fuck is Bo Nickal on the main card? And I think he's over Charles Oliveira. I thought they were going to put Kayla Harrison in the main card. But no, they're fucking all on this Bo Nickal rim job train that they're freaking trying to make Bo Nickal a star. Give him some legitimate competition then. I know you're trying to do the O'Malley. And that's a rant for another video. I'll make a Bo Nickal rant. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And have a great rest of your day.